And okay, it's recording. So while this is on my mind, let me close my door. I'm gonna take this, lean it back. No, I think right where it was fine. Okay. Well, I'm looking at myself, which I don't think is a good idea. I think you should just look at the camera while I'm talking. Because it's kind of hard not to look at yourself when you're recording something and you have that video feedback. Why am I... No, don't question it. Don't. So, the reason I decided to record this quick video, well, who knows how quick it'll be, because I'm winging this, but stop looking over there. But who knows how quick this video is gonna be, because I could go on for hours or I can go on for a few minutes. I'm hoping I just do a few minutes. So I started thinking to myself, there's something more to each individual person. There's something more to others in this world. And from the ages of, I would say, maybe 5 to the ages of 13. Well, no, technically still to this day, I still think about stuff like that. So, when it comes to looking and perspective, the first thing that pops into my head is that, why do I see this way? And why do I see others that way? Why can't I see myself through their eyes? In a way you can, because I thought about like sitting here, I close my eyes, and I imagine whatever my grandmother might be doing, my mom might be doing, or someone else might be doing. If I see them in the room currently, I close my eyes and imagine looking from their perspective, not just their brain pattern or like whatever they might be thinking at that moment, but more along the lines of like, what's about them, why they're standing there that way, why are they doing this that way and stuff. I focus on that person sometimes. I even do my eyes open so I don't have to close my eyes to do it. It's just something I naturally do. And I would say that's probably one of my best things to introduce myself when it comes to anything. Perspective is my number one most important thing in this world that I have attracted and learned and grasped in a different way. So, now I want to elaborate on the topic of perspective. Perspective can mean multiple things to different people and all that stuff. And everything in this world is perspective. Perspective is perspective, but perspective is also not perspective. It's one of those things that is very similar to what you would call heterological, and sometimes it's also autological. But this is one of those moments where you think about something too much and it gets to your brain to the point where you're just stuck in awe, or you're stuck in a position of contentness, melancholy, not really disturbed, but yet you're in a moment where you just see, oh, that's not me. I'm not in that situation. What is this feeling? And it's a very elaborate thing that I can go on for hours for, but just to keep this within or under 10 minutes, because 10 minutes might be too long actually. I think it's going on 5 minutes right now, but so when it comes to perspective, the thing that I don't want to explain perspective as it is perspective. I'll just explain perspective as my perspective. My perspective is basically best said where I look at everything in every way, in most ways. Because there are some things that I can't see nor put myself in those shoes nor experience that same exact thing. For example, I know people that have been raped. I cannot put myself in their shoes. I cannot live or nor view myself from that perspective. I can imagine it, but never be exact to how they might be feeling. I have been betrayed, so I can say that, hey, I know exactly how you feel. But it's not just about knowing how someone else feels. And it's knowing about where they're coming from, how they feel, and many different other things. Perspective is a big thing when it comes to this world. We have to learn the difference between I view, they view, this, that, and etc. When it comes to the idea of what we see, you have to think, the way I think of it is like this. We all see things first person, but yet we don't think about that. Not initially. And we see everything else in third person, as if we are separated from their lives, even if they might be related to us, might be connected to us, might be somehow joined or in touch with that person, with you. When it comes to that viewing, the one thing that I think is that there's no difference from the way they see and the way you see. It's just altered. For example, you take a circle and you create a diameter. No matter how many times you turn that thing, there is technically an infinite amount of positions, infinite amount of dots and axes all on that circle before you go all the way around. So there is no definite number, because there is the spaces in between the spaces. There's the spaces between both spaces, and it keeps going down, to the point where it's just like saying everyone's perspective is horizontal, but someone's might be vertical, someone's might be diagonal. It's the same thing. It's the same thing when it comes to saying it's a line, it's a perspective, it's a view, it's a straight viewpoint, it's tunnel vision, it's whatever you want to call it, but we all view the same way, altered in a different way. If I'm trying to get to a point here, I would say clearly this. There is no point, because perspective is different from perspective. The reason of me making this video real quick was because, well, one, I'm not in a good mindset, so that's always a good sign to me that I'm more open. And second, it's more along the lines of, why not? And I think that's the last thing I'll leave this at is, when it comes to looking at someone else or seeing someone else, always ask yourself this. If you are going to do something, or you thought of something, or you do anything on stuff, you always have to think about the why and the why not. Because this person's views and perspectives may counter your why, and your views and perspectives may counter the why not. Try switching those whys around. Why do you want to do the things you do? And why should you not do them for that other person? And I think I'll leave that here. Nothing much more else to say.